Welcome to Cooking with Chef Tuan, and today we are making some delicious biscuits and gravy with a Boursin cheese-filled omelet. Now, as usual, all the ingredients will be listed in the description box down below. This biscuit recipe is pretty straightforward. You want to make sure your eggs, your butter, and your milk are as cold as they can be. And let's start off by mixing all of our dry ingredients together. Just give it a whisk so everything is mixed. Then we're going to put our whole egg in with our milk and stir it all up so it's all incorporated. Now all you have to do is take your cold butter, add it to your flour, and I'm going to use a pastry cutter to cut all the butter in. And every once in a while you can use a knife or a chopstick to clean out the blades to make sure that all the butter doesn't get just all gummed up in your knife. You want to keep rocking this bad boy back and forth till all the butter gets cut into the flour. And once that's done, you're going to add in your cold milk and egg mixture. Now the way I'm stirring this flour in is I'm going from the bottom up to the top. I'm basically just folding in the flour. You don't want to overwork your dough. Now all I did here was I poured it out onto a floured working surface, and I'm just pushing all the dough together to make one cohesive piece. You can use a rolling pin if you want, but I'm just going to mat this down until it's about ½ an inch thick. Then I'm going to use about a 2-inch cutter, and you want to flour your cutter and push straight down. And once you cut out all your biscuits, it's good to put it in the refrigerator while you preheat your oven to 400 degrees. And here, all I'm doing is adding an egg wash to the top. This will go in the oven at 400 for about 15 minutes. Then after 15 minutes, this is what you should get. Just leave it out to cool while we work on our country gravy. And for my country gravy today, I'm going to add a lot of onions. I know there's a lot of onion lovers out there. This would be a great recipe for you. And if this isn't enough onion, you can go ahead and surely add as much as you want. And all I'm going to do to season these onions is I'm going to add some dried thyme, salt, and a lot of black pepper. And just give this a quick stir to combine all the seasonings. Now next, I am using some spicy breakfast sausage, but you can go ahead and use any kind of sausage you want, any kind of meat you want, and just break it all up and saute it till it's all nice and brown. I could eat this just like this right now, but on with the gravy. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, and I'm going to switch to a big wooden spoon because we want to cook out all the raw flavor of the flour. And as you can see, the flour stuck to the bottom is creating a nice fond. And with that, you're going to add your milk a little bit at a time, using it to scrape up all the flavor bits off the bottom. And you could add all your milk at once, but I think doing it this way, it creates less of a mess, and it lets you be in more control of what you're stirring and what you're scraping up and what you can see what's going on at the bottom of the pan. And you want to bring this up to a simmer because with flour, its full thickening power won't be achieved unless you bring it up to a full simmer. All right, now we're going to give this a taste and see if we need some salt. Now I didn't add salt earlier because I know that there's salt in the breakfast sausage and I didn't want things to be too overly salty. Now this country gravy just needed a tiny bit more salt, but that's okay. Just continue to cook this down until you get a nice desired thickness. If it's too thick, you can thin it out with a little bit more milk. All right, now that the gravy is done, we're gonna move on to our Boursin cheese omelet. Here I have 3 whole beaten eggs in a pan with some olive oil on medium-high heat. And I'm trying to go for a traditional French omelet with no coloring, no brownage whatsoever. So in order to do that, you have to keep your eggs moving and to control your heat. Once your eggs start to curdle, keep it stirring, and then you can see that I've switched my flame down to a medium flame. And I did have some Boursin cheese in a piping bag, which makes it a lot easier to put inside the omelet. Now how you fold your omelet is up to you. You can either fold this in half, or you can do the traditional tri-fold the French way. Today, I think I want to try the Japanese technique where we're going to completely encase the filling and pretty much create a seamless omelet. Sorry, I tried to get the flip inside the camera frame, but it didn't work out that way, but here it is. And so now all I'm doing right now is I'm just shaping my omelet, making sure that it's round and pinching in all the corners and making sure that the seam gets cooked on the bottom. As you can see, it's starting to form. There's no seam, so you can roll this omelet all around your pan and the insides won't spill out. And this top part is the part that's going to be on the bottom of the plate. And just pour it out onto your plate just like so. Paired with 2 of our flaky biscuits and a lot of our luscious country gravy that has a ton of onions in it. This biscuits and gravy dish is coming together deliciously. Now to finish up this dish, I'm gonna garnish with some sliced fresh scallions, a little drizzle of extra virgin olive oil over the omelet, and some finishing salt, some nice chunky maldon. Now let's go to the table. Look at how beautiful this plate looks. All I can say is, dang! I mean, biscuits and gravy is one of those dishes that's kind of hard to make look pretty, but you know what? We'll let the flavors speak for itself. And the flavors, they say, yep, I'm pretty good. Nice and buttery, flaky biscuit. Now let's cut into our omelet and see what it looks like on the inside. Look at this, nice and gooey. The egg is still a little bit runny and creamy. Don't sleep on that Boursin cheese, guys. It is freaking delicious. Guys, I want to say thank you so much for stopping by. If you like the content, please hit that like button. And as always, peace.